Hey all, I'm Gray the TF2 Workbench guy, and today I am doing one of a two-part series about the Pyro. At least I think it's going to be two parts, because I don't know if I'm going to have to expand it into a third or fourth even. The deal here is talking about the Pyro's role in combat and how it has changed since the game began. Of all the classes, the Pyro has definitely varied the most throughout the updates, and I've decided to split that into three main lines. This video is designed to cover the three lines, how they're affected, how they affect gameplay, etc. Later will be a critical analysis of them. When it was first introduced, the Pyro was always a very offensive class designed at dealing heavy damage across a large group, since the flamethrower pierces enemies with close range. In longer range, the Pyro was near useless because a shotgun is kind of like a feather-filled catapult, whatever. The deal here is that Valve, for whatever reason, I will touch on that later, apparently did not deem that satisfactory, and during the Pyro update, they added the Air Blast. The Air Blast made the Pyro more of a support class, if they chose to play that way. At the same time, three new unlocks were added. The Backburner, with its eponymous crits from the back ability, as well as a health buff, seem to have been designed for much more damage at the cost of self-defense, because it did not have the Air Blast ability at that time. Even today, it costs a lot to Air Blast for you. So the Backburner was moved to the offensive flamethrower of choice. The original flamethrower was moved to more of a supporting role. You could use it to air blast or for damage, but it couldn't damage as well as the Backburner could. Then the flare gun. The flare gun gave the Pyro a little bit of long-range emphasis as an alternative to mid-range burst damage from the shotgun. It allowed the Pyro to heckle snipers, although it was still nothing compared to a rocket launcher or a grenade, that kind of stuff. So, there's that. It also facilitated combo play because of the crit on burning players attribute, as did the Extinguisher. The Extinguisher was designed for both combo and team play, where you would hit a burning enemy to get guaranteed crits. Very effective. As such, the three main avenues of Pyro were born. Offense, symbolized by the Backburner. Support, symbolized by the stock flamethrower and the Air Blast. And then combo, which focused on, rather than spreading flames over a wide group of targets, it focused on burning one target, switching, and then dealing a massive burst of damage to kill them. As the updates went on, we got more and more unlocks that favored these weapon rolls. For example, the Homewrecker and the Neon Annihilator facilitated play with engineers, thus making it more of a support role than other melees had. Stuff such as the Detonator and the Back Scratcher facilitated aggressive offensive play, so that aspect of Pyro was expanded a little more. And the flamethrowers have changed too. We got the Phlogiston, which is like a beefed up Backburner, taken to 11. The Backburner was moved to be a little more like a mid-ground between the Flog and the stock, and thus the offensive Pyro gained a new weapon. Even more importantly than that, Combo Pyro finally got a set flamethrower, the Degreaser. Since it facilitated faster weapon switching, the Pyro was able to deal more damage faster. I won't go into a long rant about the Degreaser, but there's always that to think about. And with all that came really the advent of where Pyro started to feel a little weird, because the Degreaser, it was an upgrade to the stock flamethrower in the support role too. It was a downgrade to the stock flamethrower in offense, but the Backburner and Flog or better than the stock flamethrower in offense. So the stock basically had its niche removed. And that's something we're going to touch on later. But the point is here that Pyro is, as of right now, split into three. First, and originally, the offensive Pyro, which seeks to spread multiple ticks of damage, rapid damage, across a large group of enemies at once. The support angled Pyro, which seeks to protect teammates with the compression blast, as well as removing sappers, reflecting projectiles, etc., etc., etc. And then finally, the combo Pyro, which seeks to deal burst damage on single targets as opposed to DOT over a wide area. The latter is arguably a little more narrow than the others, and that can definitely lead to some problems balancing. So, Pyro is basically a class with three different separate playstyles. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing at all. They just don't seem to be really correlated. I mean, you ever seen a class in any kind of game that could do support and offense at the same time? I didn't think so. I mean, there's stuff like the Heavy, who can kind of alter his playstyles between being a melee tank and being a ranged tank, or the Demo Man, who can be a powerful melee class, or a potent damage dealer at range. There's that kind of stuff. But at least those have some kind of niche. They all fall into the general scheme of the class, with the possible exception of Demo Knighting and all that, but I always consider that an anomaly. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. So I'll leave you with this to ruminate on. I do not have a set date for the second episode in this series, but if I consult my schedule over here, it says that I am planning to release that video on February 24th. Alright, sounds pretty good to me. You can hold out for that a little longer. I appreciate your watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.